So, the search for missing Kansas mother Marilane Carter came to a tragic conclusion yesterday, Tuesday, 18th of August, when one of her family, it was actually her uncle, came across her vehicle inside a Conex shipping container just off the I-55 bridge in West Memphis, Arkansas, at the end of a quite remote long dirt road. The uncle had gone out to the area where her phone last pinged to help with the searches, came across 3 large shipping containers that were partially hidden by tall grass in a field. It was an area that had actually been previously covered and searched by authorities, and they've actually since confirmed that they did see these containers, but they didn't think to look inside. They didn't think for a minute that there would be anything in them. The uncle found one door was opened, and on one of them there were 3 storage containers, and he found Marilane's vehicle inside. He then called the sheriff's department and deputies, Arkansas State Police and the FBI secured the scene. A woman's body was then found in the driver's seat, which is expected to be formally identified in the next day or so. Authorities have stated that they don't believe that there's any foul play, anything suspicious. They believe that anything that happened by Marilane's own doing. Her purse and credit cards were also found inside the vehicle. Now, earlier on in the investigation, Detective Blake Larson from the Overland Police Department had commented that this was a unique and strange case, and he had actually ruled out any criminal activity or anything suspicious. Part of that was the fact that any digital or visual trace of Marilane had just stopped in West Memphis, Arkansas, pretty much right where they ultimately found her vehicle. It appears that she had driven into the empty storage container, which actually happens to be on private property and normally is known to be secured by a locked gate. This is the actual storage container that Marilane's vehicle was found in, and you can clearly see the tyre tracks on each side. It looks like she had driven just far enough in for her vehicle to be hidden, and certainly the only way she would have been able to get out if she wanted to perhaps close the doors would be to climb out through the boot. As to exactly how Marilane died, authorities are still waiting on the results of the medical examiner, which should be within the next few days. It's since been discovered that Marilane had actually planned to fly to Birmingham, Alabama to see her family. She had bought a Southwest Airlines ticket the day before, on Saturday 1st of August, sometime in the early afternoon, to fly southwest from Kansas City International to Birmingham, Alabama the next day on the Sunday, to see her sister, who is due to have a baby soon, and also we know to seek help for mental health issues. It was stated by her family that she also, or part of her mental health issues with sleeping. Now, we also now know from the husband that she later took a nap that day after buying the ticket, and for some reason later on that day after waking up, something made up her mind that she didn't want to wait, and she wanted to drive. She wanted to drive that night on the Saturday, even after purchasing the flight ticket. And this was explained to her husband, her family, and she left her home in Kansas at 8:15 p.m. we know on that Saturday night. Now, just recently, law enforcement have managed to put together a kind of detailed route that she took using her credit card purchase information and cell phone data. And it shows that Marilane travelled through Missouri, where she stopped at a McDonald's in Rolla, and shortly after that a gas station in Houston. And then at 3:37 a.m, so this is Sunday, August 3rd, she checked into the Quality Inn in West Plains, Missouri. And she checked out again just 2.5 hours later, 6:06 a.m, which was obviously a cause for concern at that time. Why would she stay for such a short amount of time? Did she have a small nap? We know she was having problems sleeping. We don't really know what was going on. She then travelled south. She got some gas in Hazen, Arkansas, around 2 p.m. And then finally, the last purchase she made, which was also caught on camera, was in West Memphis, Arkansas, just before 5 p.m. at the Shell station on Petro Road. She got some fuel, went in and got some ice for her water, filled up a water bottle. She was still alone, didn't look to be in any visible distress. And then 3 hours after that was when her phone gave off its last ping at 8:02 p.m. near the Arkansas way station on I-55 entering Memphis, West Memphis. And that's actually only a few miles from the Shell gas station. Now that 8 o'clock, just after 8 p.m, that's also around the exact same time that Marilane's husband and her mother last spoke to her on the phone. Marilane had been describing to her mum how she was disoriented and kept getting lost, even though she had apparently driven that route from Kansas to Birmingham many times. She also mentioned that she was travelling on dirt roads, and she said she was going on a trek, and the road leading off of the I-55 to where ultimately her vehicle was found in the container are kind of dirt roads, and you certainly know you were going way off course. Now, Detective Larson had just recently reported that nobody had figured out exactly why she wanted to leave that night. What got into her mind on wanting to go, not wanting to wait. He said he's spoken with the family, husband, mother, brother-in-law, and I think they all knew that she wanted to seek mental help, but I don't think they knew to the extent to which she was in crisis. Because the last phone calls with her husband and her mother both kind of dropped out mid-conversation, it does make you wonder if Marilane made those calls from inside that storage container. Was the signal being blocked by the walls of the container? Eventually, Marilane's husband, Adam, filed a missing persons report at 3 a.m. on Monday, August 3rd, when she didn't arrive in Birmingham, Alabama. Marilane was a 2008 graduate of Beeson Divinity School at Samford University in Birmingham, which is affiliated with the Southern Baptist Convention. She and her husband Adam had 3 children together. The youngest turned 3 just a couple of days ago. Adam is the lead pastor of the Baptist Church in Leawood, Kansas.
This program interests me because
in a YouTube video posted in May, Marilane is seen talking about a continuing education program that she was interested in. The video appears to be part of an application. She explains she wants to become an elementary school teacher and provide some of her professional background. She says she worked for 4 years as a chaplain in a hospital following her graduate studies, and that hospital was actually the UAB University Hospital in Birmingham, and it's believed that that is where she may have initially been intending to seek help for her mental health. Although Adam serves as the pastor of the Baptist Church in Leewood, and that is Marilane's upbringing and education, there is information circulating that Marilane recently converted to the Catholic faith. Her name actually appears in the bulletin of St. Michael the Archangel Church in Leewood. On June 20th, that church held a new believers communion, and Marilane is listed as one of the people participating in the rite of Christian initiation. The church also posted information on their Facebook page when she was missing. An associate pastor of the Baptist Church in Leewood stated that the church is struggling with feelings of having failed Marilane, although he said her reported mental health struggles were not common knowledge among the congregation of about 100 worshippers. Whenever things like this happen, there's always this, could I have done something? Did I miss some sign? Obviously her mental struggles were not something widely known among us. It was kept very close to the chest. Whatever issues Marilane was going through in her mind and in her life, this tragic ending is a stark reminder of just how serious we all need to take mental health, not just our own, but also those of us around us. And of course, some people are very good at hiding it. I've heard a few of you mention that being the wife of a pastor brings its own pressures. Of course, there's also Marilane's apparent shift or upcoming shift in faith from the Baptist Church to Catholicism. And all of this could potentially have been contributing factors and stresses to her. It's just such a tragic ending to the search for a beautiful young mum and her family. And our thoughts and prayers go out to Marilane's husband, family and friends.